Hello and welcome to another episode of Theories and Thoughts podcast with your hostess Arnya and
Fancy.
I swear that little thing don't ever be long enough. Why my hair always look? I'm always fixing something. Okay, hey, hey. Hope everybody's doing good. So, Fancy, this weekend, everybody's been talking about this video. Well, first, let me say, I'm all off. Okay, happy. Okay, this is scratch. Let's go back. This is National Women's History Month. However, today is International Women's Day.
Yes.
Okay, so happy International Women's Day to all the women out there. Today I am wearing a bunch of women. So I have on my bougie shirt from my girl. I have my my girl Angela. Sorry. I have my earrings from what's the boutique? Forgot. Sorry. Yeah, I know because I'm always wearing them. And I got my lashes Tory Bell that I sell, and my lips is my Candy Lady.
I didn't think about that. Hi, Jermaine. So, did you think of? I can't think of the earring person. I was trying to think of for you.
The person that did mine. Yeah, I'm looking now. I'm like, oh damn.
Okay, well, while you're looking, y'all, I am wearing my I love being a Black woman sweatshirt, which is from Black Women Lives Matter. I got that one in like a blackity black sweatshirt. So and then while I'm not living single, I need to get to the hair salon. So my hat, I don't know if it's a Black woman, but I do know that it is a Black brand. And so I found these people on Instagram at one point, but I cannot remember their name. It took a little while to get the hat. So if they maybe, had sent it sooner, I could remember exactly whose Instagram it is.
No, you didn't.
No, I mean, but I love the hat though. I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying, but it did take a while because people were asking about their stuff as well. Hey, Sharona.
Hey, Sharona. Oh, Bonita's Designs. That's the earrings. Bonita's Designs. Sunita's Designs. Sorry. Now we're gonna get it together. Anywho, all the Black women, salute to all the Black women out there for International Women's Day. Speaking of dope ass Black women, I wanted to get to this video. So have y'all seen this video with this dude, this lame, talking about women disqualify themselves when they achieve things? So
Summer wrote a video.
Literally, she says, I got a good job. I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like, once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh, and shit.
And what it is these, and this is the thing. I'm not blaming
the women are going to hate him for that shit.
No,
they are going to hate him for that.
They
I can't wait to put this shit out.
First of all, the women gonna hate all y'all for laughing at that dumb shit. How about that? Hey, oh, she said I didn't got all this stuff. And hey, Anita, it pissed me off too, sis. I got all this stuff, and all I need is a woman. At least she said she needed a man. She could have just said I could just have somebody just to come by and hook me up.
True. That's very true.
Because a vibe is cool, and then having a fly by night, a booty call. I mean, when you have everything that you have, what do at that point? You know what I'm saying? Since he laughing and stuff. My problem with men, a lot of men, especially because the first thing they tell me is, "Oh, you do a lot. You do a lot. You probably always busy." And I'm like, I make time. That's the first thing. The second thing, oh, you have this independent woman mentality. I I don't. But I've been doing this shit by myself since I was 18. I'm 40 now. What do you want me to do? You want me to play with my fingers until you decide to come? And yes, we talked about this before. And that annoys the hell out of me. Insecure men. And him, he wouldn't be able to deal with a woman like that. Not a woman who got her own, because he would need a woman who would definitely need some type of woman who's gonna just stroke his ego. And I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? That goes both ways. And I've dealt with those type of men. I've dealt with those type of men who are like, oh, you got all this, you don't need no man. I don't need you. Maybe I don't need you financially, but I need you emotionally. I need you mentally. I need you physically.
Well, I have to say, actually, as you were saying it, I'm thinking to myself, I've never had someone be like, you have too much going on, you know, something about the time. I've never really had that happen. But also, I don't really get approached too often, not directly. So maybe that's a part of things. Then I've been in a relationship for almost a year. But even before that, I feel like I did probably have things going on, but I've just never really had someone say that to me. And I will say I did used to be more dependent on men, especially much more than I am now. So I'm just glad that I'm in a state whereas I'm not having to be dependent, because I used to be like, oh, you could claim me on your taxes if you need to, because that's just how much I'm going to be bothering you about something. But now I'm no longer like that, and that really took a lot of growth. But I think what stood out to me was the fact that she said it. And like you said, you know, she at least acknowledged the fact that, you know, she would like to be with the man, because a lot of women, once they get to a certain point, they really do be like, oh, they don't, you know, they're not interested. And if you look, like, just something that I noticed, like with a lot of people in Hollywood, like a lot of the actresses, it seems like once they kind of get to a certain point, then oftentimes they're just like, you know, they're not interested in dating, or they're, you know, they're just not really interested in having a significant other. Like, they're good with themselves. So I think that he should have acknowledged that. I'm not gonna say he just like pissed me off, but I was just like, wow, so this is really how people be thinking. This is how men think. And then it also kind of makes me think about how oftentimes we see these successful Black men, and then we look at the type of women that they oftentimes choose, and we're wondering, like, you know, why isn't he with someone who's doing more with herself, or why? But I think it's oftentimes that they want to be, you know, these type of women might make them feel more validated, or as you said, to stroke ego. Then those are the type of women that they choose. But those are my thoughts. I forgot to put the banner up for the question.
I was going to say, and the question of the night is, do Black women disqualify themselves from relationships and marriage due to their professional achievements? Y'all chime in. Thank you, Thomas, for the compliment. And that's no disrespect, baby. I am cute. I'm just saying. My fancy fly too, so give her a compliment too. Thank you. But no, I think that a lot of men are insecure, and I've never been dependent. And let's be real, I've never had that option to be dependent either. You know what I'm saying? I've never had the option to just lean on a man. I've never had that option to be able to do that. And so when you don't have those options, you can't do. You know what I'm saying? I've always been I'm a fix it. I'm a do it. The day that I'm waiting. Here you go. Here you go, all this shit. I'm tired. I am tired. But at the same token, men will see. I've had men, I'm not the type of woman that I'm independent. I got this going on. I'm doing all that. But it's your insecurity that make you think that I'm just this independent woman and I'm walking around like this. No, does my success scare you? Does it threaten you? You know, and thank you, Anita. She said we're both gorgeous, just glowing. Thank you, baby. Sharona says, no, they don't. Women who have accomplished a lot by themselves don't need a man to do things for them. They need support, romance, and release from the work that they're doing on the regular. And I 100%, that's my friend right there. That's my friend. That's like one of my best friends, but that is so true. I don't need you physically. I mean, financially. Now, as I always say, if you need to pay a bill, if there's a bill that you need, I got rent, baby. I got all these bills over here. If you need that, I'm good with giving that to you. Now, is it a need? No, because it's not going to get cut off. And one thing one of my stepmoms told me once, she said, do for yourself, and what a nigga give to you is extra. And I grew up with that, you know what I'm saying? So I guess I say it pissed me off. It just annoyed me because it was yet another conversation about it was yet another conversation of Black men downplaying a Black woman's success. And I'm tired of the conversation. We need to have that conversation. But we did. We talked to what you call him about the disconnect between Black men and Black women.
King J.
We need to run that conversation back. Maybe we should do like a panel. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about this. Do this, because I had a conversation with Corey. You know, Corey, who does our audio and visual. Corey was like, when a man gets to a certain level of power, he don't want to be monogamous. He wants to be poly. And he has another woman, and that woman sits back and let him do that because he got all his money. But you have to look at the type of women they deal with too. You have to look at the type of women they deal with. They're not assets, they're liabilities. And then you want us to feel bad when she take you for all your money. When if you'd have got another woman who got her own money and her own shit together, you wouldn't have had to worry about that.
Well, I think a part of it is also control too, because oftentimes when you're in those type of situations and you are, you know, that's almost like, I'm not gonna say it's financial abuse, but you can be abused financially. So I think that plays a part in it too. Like they're able to control those type of women. But also I think it's just that, like a lot of what Sharona said, to me, I kind of think oftentimes men might think that I have it all together, and so I don't need those other things, you know, like the support or the romance, or, you know, or just the listening ear, just the having that companionship, you know. I think that it seems like men kind of get this sort of thought as if, oh, she got everything, so, you know, she good, you know, she's never gonna be in need of anything, and not necessarily even financially, but just those other things as well.
Right. Thomas says, I grew up with an independent mother, so I'm cool and I understand. And sometimes, and let me tell y'all something, man. Let me give you game. Let me give y'all a whole bunch of game right now. When a woman is in the presence of a man that she feels secure in, you don't even have to worry about her feeling independent and roaring, as you guys say, or being masculine or anything, because she definitely wants to be vulnerable in your presence and in your arms. But you have to make us feel that way.
Yeah. I agree with it.
With the next topic, Brittany Griner, did I say her name right? Griner was detained in Russia. She has been arrested on a cannabis charge, drug charges. She had cannabis oil.
Yeah. Hashish oil. But I just want to, just in case, you know, so it's like, basically, should we say this is all alleged, because they, like you said, they haven't been able to confirm anything.
Alleged.
Whereas you said Russia released, you know, you had mentioned it now, but you said that they released a photo of her. From what I had saw though, they were also saying that, like, the WNBA said that they could account for all the players, like all the players are back in the country with the exception of one, and it seems to be Griner. So yeah, but they still don't have a lot of concrete information. Seems like it, like they don't really know what's going on totally.
Right. And that's the thing. Why would she be going when we having issues with Russia right now? I don't know, but I know that they do practice or do something.
Yeah, she was playing with the pro league over there, they said. Yeah. So I feel like oftentimes people do this. So maybe it was other US people over there as well.
Right. But during this time, I wouldn't go. Look, I ain't even trying to go overseas right now. with all the craziness going on. It might get locked up. Kyrie Irving leaves Rock Nation and hires his stepmom as his agent. That is dope. And it's so dope in Women's History Month.
Yeah, and it possibly makes her the first Black woman agent. And then also, they think that she's the first Black woman agent because it appears that no other NBA players have Black women agents. So
yeah,
that is making her a first. It hasn't been, I guess, like officially confirmed, but from what they're saying online. So.
Yeah, there's this one lady that I follow. Of course, I found her on Jamel Hill. She's a Black woman agent, but she does football.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't think of her name. I follow her. So, but you know how I am about Jamel Hill. You know how I'm about. So on to the ratchet. Deelishis and Raymond Santana are getting divorced. This guy said after she just spent all that man moving money, now she's getting divorced. First of all, would you know that's her? Just from seeing her? Like, when you look at her, do you think that's her?
What, do you think she doesn't look the same? Is that what you're saying?
No, she don't look the same.
Oh. I don't know. She looked a little different, but I mean, yeah, I knew that was her.
I don't know. Sis don't look the same. So she said that he's what did she say? She said that he was a narcissist.
A liar and a cheat, I think.
Yeah, that too. But he trying to get his body together, so he like, whatever.
Yeah. They say actually he was the one that filed for divorce. So
yeah, after she put it out there saying that she's married to a narcissist, a cheater, and liar.
Well, I think I don't know, because the way I was looking at the article, it almost seemed like he had, because it kind of made me think that she decided to go the social media route after he had already.
Yeah. Okay, so that may have happened.
But that's just kind of how that article read. So, but I don't know. A lot of people was like, that he had, him getting out of prison and just how long he was in there, the age he went in, like, what did you expect? Obviously, he was going to have, some type of issues. And I mean, oftentimes they say when people go to jail or they go to prison, that their mind, whatever age they were when they left, they are still stuck in that mindset. So you got to think about, like, he was a teenager. So, and now he has his freedom, and I hope he still got some money left over, but yeah.
How long did they stay in jail? Let me check. Y'all know I be about using my thing. In 2000, no, he was convicted. A convicted murder admitted that he alone was responsible for it. 2002 was when they was exonerated.
Let's see, Latrice said years.
Yeah, it was years. That was a bunch of years. So, all right, well, that's enough. I'm not saying that's enough, but that's all the news that we had today.
All right, so here is our commercial. You all can watch Theories and Thoughts Deep Dive on Exposure TV app. Isn't that what it is?
Yes, okay. Exposure.
All right, here you go.
Like, okay, well, why are you here with me?
Right.
Like we do need men, and I had a chance to just talk to her and tell her, and she was like, well, you do it all this, that, and third. And I say, I have to.
Drop the mister. Just call me Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Okay. Hey, girl.
I don't need nothing, no, sis. You don't need to work on that. Maybe this right here. You know, because Liz, so, Sam, what the Well, thank y'all for joining us for this episode of Theories and Thoughts Deep Dive.
I absolutely love that commercial. Bridget, can you scoot over just there? You are, my love. I absolutely love that commercial. You can catch Theories and Thoughts Deep Dive Talk Show on the Exposure TV app, as Fancy said. Both seasons, season 1 and season 2, are both on there. Today will be a great day to watch the Women Empowerment. Was it Empowerment? Women Empowerment show. Okay. So tonight, you guys, we have one of my dear sister friends, Miss Bridgette Taylor of Taylor Cares. Welcome to the show, Bridget.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Super grateful to be on your platform.
You're welcome. So you guys, this month, the month of March, I had to think of the month. The month of March is the MS Awareness Month. So we're gonna let Bridget tell you about herself and Taylor Cares. Bridget, can you tell our audience about yourself? I am so discombobulated.
Hey, everybody. Well, thank you again for having me on the show. You know, I am a huge advocate to this condition in the organization because it is super near and dear to my heart, only because I am personally impacted by the condition. And so if I'm affected, that means my family's affected as well. So MS, this is National MS Awareness Month. So if you could wear some orange and think of us. But multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disorder. It's incurable at the moment. So we are continuing to raise awareness and funding for a cure. But it's an autoimmune disorder where it attacks your central nervous system.
Okay. So you did disclose that you are living with MS. So when did you find out that you had this disease?
So I started getting some symptoms a little at the tail end of 2011. And then it takes several testing, several MRIs. I've done spinal taps, and it takes 2 or 3. And I'm going to refer to my notes because obviously, disclaimer, I am not a medical professional, guys. Just
right.
Somebody impacted by the condition. So I have firsthand experience with it, but to be diagnosed, you have to have damage to the myelin coating around the nerve fibers in your central nervous system, and you have to have 2 separate instances where either your brain or your spinal cord or your nerves are impacted, and that can look like a variety of symptoms. So for me, I've had Bell's palsy, so it looks like I've had a stroke. I've had paralysis of my limbs. I've had speech impediments. And so after MRIs and spinal tap, that's how they were able to get everything together and get a confirmed diagnosis.
Okay. So tell us what it is. Tell us, like, I guess, give us a definition.
Okay.
Or did you give it? I don't think you did. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said it in the beginning, but it
Oh.
probably would be better if because she just kind of mentioned it when she was introducing herself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what it is, it's an autoimmune disorder where your central nervous system is attacking your myelin sheath. So the coating around your spinal cord. So if you think about it like let me grab this. All right. Everybody knows what this is, right? It's a cord, right? So let's say that this is your spinal cord. Around this protective coating of your spinal cord where your central nervous system is giving communication from your brain to your body to your feet, your body is attacking this special coating around. So instead of it having a direct connection of what to do and what to say, it's having to go around the scaps and the areas that's been impacted. So that's where the delay of communication goes from your head to what the rest of your body has to do. So basically daily, your body is attacking itself.
Okay.
Vancy, you had something?
Well, I was just gonna say when I did try to read up on it a little. It did basically say it was like a communication problem between the brain and the body. So yeah, so I'm just noting that just in case anybody missed it, it is a communication thing, but I get it.
Yeah. Thanks for looking it up so far.
So it's not something that you just walk in your doctor's office and say, I think I have
multiple
sclerosis.
And a lot of times they think that there's other conditions, because it does mirror and it does take a very hard time to get the official diagnosis for this. And that's one of the things that we truly campaign through Taylor Cares. You know, there's tons of great organizations that bring awareness and bring advocacy to the condition, but the main way to get your diagnosis confirmed is through an MRI. So, you know, I like to stay in my lane, and our lane through Taylor Cares is confirming, helping people get that confirmation by getting assistance for those procedures or for those testings, those digital imaging testing.
Right. And Keisha, I think that's how you say your name. She said, can we learn about MS in the Black community? That's why we have Bridgette on right now, actually, Keisha, because we don't hear about it much in the Black community. And since this was MS Awareness Month and we knew somebody who had it and who actually has a foundation, we wanted to bring her on to shed light to this so people can be educated and find out ways that they can learn about MS.
Yeah. So, and that's really great point. First and foremost, I'm gonna get my Vanna Black one. Let me see if you can see the M. So you can first get some more information. You can
move it over some. We can't.
Let's see. That way?
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, it should be that way.
That way, right there.
Bam, baby. Get my Vanna Black one. So you can actually take a picture of that QR code. It's going to give you a direct link to our website, which is taylorcares.net. But there's over 2.3 million people that are impacted by this condition. You get diagnosed around 20 to 50 years old, and that's the common age that people have been impacted. But one of the common factors is those who live furthest from the equator and 3 times more impacted. Let's get back my Vanna Black going on here. Are so unfortunate, of course, a lot of times in our community, if you search, you can dig through, there is not a definite number of the number of Black women of color, people of color that are impacted by this condition. One, because a lot of times, often we're not getting that medical advice. 2, we can't afford the medical advice. But there are some key factors that implement like easier screening for us, or reasons why we do need to go in. You know, a lot of times people are like, oh, I just need to rest or take a ginger ale and get some sleep. But if you're having paralysis, if you're having a lot of the symptoms, so bladder issues, vision, pain, fatigue, bowel, depression, vertigo, if you're having tremors, if you're having even sexual problems, there are a ton of symptoms that we are just kind of flying over our head, especially in our community. There are several support groups that are catered to this one. Obviously, being a woman of color, a lot of times it's easier for me to communicate how that feels and how that is being impacted by the condition, because when I go to different places, either to speak or bring awareness, there are not a lot of people that look like me at all. And it's, you know, there's a level, I don't want to say a level of embarrassment, but, and it sounds very harsh to say, but there's just a level of ignorance that we all have when it comes to something new in our bodies that we have to continue to learn about. Luckily for me, I've had a really great support system, especially through my mom, where, you know, she was a very much an advocate, because we already know how the medical system is for our community. And right. So have to have someone in your corner. If you're not that one that's going to be very adamant and very determined to see something's going on, let's get some more digging. You know, I also a lot of my support to some of my past leadership. I have a woman named Miss Rochelle, and, you know, there are some things at work where stuff would just continue to happen. And, you know, she's like, no, something's wrong, you know, and she was at a point where she's like, okay, I'm just going to call your mom. Or tell your mom, because she knows my mom is going to be that bulldog for me at the hospital. So we have to make sure that once we identify that there's an issue, that we're really researching and asking the questions so that we can get additional testing done. Right.
Fancy, she's getting some love. Did you want to point that out a little bit? I see Latrice.
Actually, I kind of wanted to go back a little, because I see that Latrice said, hey, B, that's my BFF. Latasha said, my beautiful sister. Melanie said, learning so much. And then skipping down a little, Keisha was saying, thank you guys for bringing awareness to this, so important. Tasha said, great information, B. And Adriana said, I'm learning so much right now. Thank you for this. Bridgette, my friend, you are beautiful and you are strong. So
yes, you are beautiful.
Well, you know, we have a tagline in Taylor Cares. It's all God and good makeup. It's on every band that we give and we sell. It's all God and good makeup. I'm just the vessel to be here to support and advocate for this.
Well, I wanted to know, so do you think that oftentimes, not necessarily that Black women or Black people are misdiagnosed, but just when you kind of mentioned earlier that a lot of people, I guess, are unaware, that's kind of like unaware that they are actually suffering with this disorder. Do you think that is kind of, that goes along with the fact that oftentimes people say, you know, doctors don't want to believe Black women when they say that they're in pain and things like that?
Yeah, I definitely feel, you know, that narrative, and I'm a big component, you know, Arnya knows how I am about this, about the strong, independent Black woman. Oftentimes you will not hear me say that.
Listen, me either.
You know, and a lot of times we just don't have the resources. I'll give you a quick story. You know, that I had a 5-minute time frame where I had to get my medicine delivered. And they were like, hey, Bridgette, I applied for this program because it was, at that time, it was $5,000 a month. And so, you know, I called my mom. I'm like, oh, what do I want to do? You know, and she's like, take it out of your savings, take a couple of months out of your 401, or, you know, I'm gonna write you a check. And a lot of times you are not going to be in a community that's underserved or do not have the same resources. They do not have the option to write a check from their for $5,000. They don't have a mom that's like, I got you for 2 months. I got you for however long it's going to be. And so that's a really big deterrent in our community where it takes funding to get to, you know, and I would say I'm counteractive on this, because at the end of the day, we're going to pray and we're going to work for a cure and we're going to do all the things for a cure. But Taylor Cares, we want there to be a cure, but right now we're going to cure the people that are dealing with it. So what can I do in this moment? Because tomorrow, I can't promise that there's going to be a cure, but tomorrow I can promise you that, hey, I can support you in this time frame as far as financially getting you some medicine, getting you some therapy, getting you a resource connected, because that's what's most important, because it's the financial aspect of what I've seen where people can't get diagnosed properly.
So I think I'm sorry, go ahead, Fancy.
Well, I was going to say, and then they have to get like referrals, right, in order to get the diagnosis. So do you all, you know, kind of, I don't know how you could really assist with that, but I'm just wondering if there is something that you do pertaining to that.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what we do. So a lot of times, you know, people are like, Bridgette, I have corporate sponsorships. We don't do a lot of smaller events just because HIPAA, and a lot of times the people that are coming to us for our organization for help, it's their privacy, you know, so if they are okay with us making a picture, making a post, we're going to do it. But most time we're going to be that center of influence. We're going to be that COI where we're either going to, if we need to talk to Prime and we're going and having a conversation with Prime for you, and Prime's giving us the bill on the back end, because all they need to do is, they don't care who pays them.
Right.
You know, here's a number where I can afford to help. And so that's how we do the connection. If they need a little bit larger scales, we have a list of resources and people where we can connect them to depending on your DMD or your disease modifying drug. So there's 3 different times. You can have an oral, you can have an intravenous, and there's also more like an injectable as well. But we connect those to the specific resources in a person who can get them on those free programs where your medicine's going to be free, or let's connect you with a therapist in that area. And then on our end, you know, we are in the DFW area, so we utilize our corporate sponsors to either pay for that MRI with whomever they're going to, or we connect them to an individual company where we know that they can get the help that they need.
Got it.
Okay. That was my question. What do you guys? That was my question actually to ask. What does Taylor Cares do? So the birth of Taylor. So I'll go with the birth of Taylor Cares. When did you decide that I am going to help others because, you know, I'm impacted? Let me help some other people. When did you decide to do that?
So I had that conversation with my mom on a Friday about my medicine, and Monday morning I reached out to my network to see who can help me, because I know there's people, especially people who look like me, who can't afford the experience that I went through. And that's just saying basically on a financial end. So, you know, I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna be the best nonprofit out here in this lane. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I'm gonna get it done. And I've had really great support. People who either did stuff for free. I got my logo created for free. People helped me with my 501c3 documentation because it's expensive, but they know that my passion is the people to make sure that they're positively impacted. And so it was an immediate, I didn't know what I was doing. I got the How to Start a Nonprofit for Dummies book, the little yellow ones back in the day. Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I needed to help somebody in whatever little way I could.
The beauty is that you had a heart for people and you decided to go. And I always tell people, as long as you go, God is going to send you the resources, but you have to first make the first step. He says, as you go, you know, in the Bible, it talks about as they went, they were healed. But you have to first go. You have to win. You have to proceed on that faith. But so many times we're so discouraged because we ain't see nobody else do it, or it just seems so overwhelming. So the blessing also is a good advocacy team, people that's going to have your back and your interest, you know, and know about you. Because if you have a good name, a lot of people will step up and be like, you know what, I know who you are, so I'm going to push, you know, put whatever resources I have behind that. So that's a great thing. And me knowing you, you know, I can attest to that as well.
I was about to say, you're a prime example of you being part of our corp. Like, you and I have just had a few conversations before you were just like, you know, and that's initially how we saw each other's hearts, and we knew like, this is beyond us, like what we want to do in life, because we understand that it's more to life than just this. So we can add theories and thoughts to the list of our corporate sponsorships. And that's going to be the big push for us. We eventually want to do a walk on our own. But right now we're trying to push enough funding through our corporate sponsorships where we can give out or grant an award a caregiver compensation package. Because oftentimes, I can only attest from my own experience, it was my mom that was taking care of me. My mom taking off of work, taking care of me, or, you know, whoever was in my circle at that time. And, you know, it's unfortunate that we didn't have at times the availability to just always have somebody there for me. It was a caregiver that was an immediate person for me. And then knowing one time I had really good insurance, thank goodness, through my employer. But I had a doctor come to my house because my mom was very supportive. Let's be comfortable. I don't want you to go to facility. And the doctor and his nurse came to my apartment, and she's like, y'all are either really rich or you have good insurance. Because she's like, for us to be here for 8 hours and administer you steroids and make sure that you don't have a counteractive response in your body, it's like $20,000.
Thank God for good insurance.
It's asinine. Like, do I need to cook for you? Like,
right.
It's the amount of money and funding that's needed in these organizations. And the great thing, we have a very, very, very little administrative, like our administrative costs are for us to print t-shirts or for us to print bands. You know, it's all our board is volunteer. If there's something that needs to be done, it's, you know, me out of pocket, because even if I, you know, $100 is one person's initial, you know, shots or blood draws. Wow. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that we can help even in the smallest capacity.
Well, we'll definitely just let us know, you know, we can always do some media, what have you. And that was the purpose of this. I always say when one day Fancy and I, well, through many conversations, Fancy and I was just like, there's conversations that is not being held in the public that needs to be. And that's how Theories and Thoughts was birthed. You know, there were conversations that we just wasn't. I had never really got into the nicks and crannies of MS. I was saying it wrong last week. What was I calling it? Muscular something?
Yeah, you keep trying to say muscular something.
And so
I wanted to know, well, also just I see Taylor Cares is really making a difference. Thank you for all. That's from Tasha. But I wanted, all you do. I see she added at the end. But I wanted to ask, is MS is it hereditary?
Oh, that's
good question. So it's not hereditary. It's not And I'm going to refer to, because everybody's like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? So it's not contagious. It's not directly inherited. It's more susceptible to the environment that you're in your genes. And a lot of times, your body is internalizing stress one way than you are mentally. And it was a big stress factor that kind of pulled it out of remission for me. And my father had passed away in 2011. And then immediately after that, there was some triggering, because mentally I was fine. I was a duck. I was good on top, and I was moving at the bottom, but my body's internalizing that stress in a totally different manner that I have no idea about. So that's why it's very important when you're feeling those stressors, you're getting the mental help. I'm a big advocate of protecting your peace. I don't care who you are. If you are not healthy for me, if you are just draining me emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, especially, I will cut you off. I'll block you. I have no problem with that, because it really is unhealthy for me. Because my body's going to internalize whatever stressful situation you're putting me in a totally different manner. And that's just, I'm, considered unhealthy, but that's for somebody that is able-bodied, no issues. That stress can kill you, no matter where it's coming from. So I'm all about protecting your peace.
I am. Boundaries, please. Thanks.
Healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries,
honey. I can't listen. It's either you or me, and I'm always going. It's always going. I'm always picking me. So this has been very informative. Is there anything that we did not touch on that you want to make sure that we say or talk about?
Let's see. No, I want to say thank you to all of our corporate sponsors. You guys just included. We have a Walk On Sports, R&R Naturals, and the Empowerment Series. There's different activities that we've gone on speeches. Birchfield and Partners. It's organizations such as you that allow us to do what we do, and we stay in our lane. We want to help people who need to get their initial diagnosis by getting their initial MRIs paid for to our capacity. And then we eventually want to continue the sponsorships, the financial sponsorships, so that we can administer and award a caregiver compensation package. And just to help as many people as possible, because especially in our community, you don't know what's going on. And hopefully toward the end of the year, I'm hoping to do a health panel and a health fair, because we've gotten a lot of people that have been triggered in a sense from COVID, where their bodies are doing something different, doing something new, and then they're getting diagnosed. So we've had a lot more people come to us. So we're very grateful for the word of mouth, for the referrals, and just all the help and support and the love that y'all give us.
Okay.
And also, because I thought you were going to mention it, but I also see Susie Taylor mentioned your walk. I think you kind of touched on it.
Y'all.
Hey, Miss Taylor, how you doing?
So yes, there is the National MS Walk that's coming in March. Go look it out, Mom. March 26th, you can go and walk under Taylor Cares for the organization. You can donate there. That's going to go to the national organization, or you can go to our website. I got my Vanna Black on earlier, but it's taylorcares.net, and you can do an individual financial donation, which goes directly to our organization. And then if you need to, let us know. Well, we'll automatically send out a receipt, because we are a 501c3 organization. So those are tax exempt donations as well. Thanks, Mom.
So you guys can find out about Taylor Cares at www.taylorcares.net, and on Instagram at TC4MS. You can find Bridgette on Facebook at Bridgette Taylor, BridgetTaylor. We have audio too, so we always spell it out. Thank you so much for coming in and informing us, because I had no idea what it was. I just know that we had a brief conversation on it, and it was like, wow, okay. But, it's one of those things that you never know what a person is dealing with just because they have a smile on their face. And Bridgette came to the Walk of a Woman, and has stayed. That is my sister now. And it's just a light. She's always just helping. She's there. She's going to lend her hand and everything. So when Fancy, we have a list of what things are every month. And when this came up, I was like, we have to have her on. So thank you again, Bridgette. And we're going to talk to you later, girl.
Yes.
Great information. Great information. I mean, I didn't know exactly what it was. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, especially in the Black community, you know, we'll take some Robitussin for anything, drink some ginger ale, or I just need a nap instead of going to see about ourselves, especially Black women. You know, because I have to make sure everything goes and we don't put enough into ourselves. So that was a great conversation.
Yeah. It really was very informative, and you can tell that she's really passionate about it, which, I mean, being that she's impacted by it, so it makes sense. But also, sometimes you might see people and they just don't come across as well put together as she did. So she's a great spokesperson for it as well.
And she's genuine, genuine about it. We just want to get people their initial, stuff. And it's like just something that simple. Some people may not be able to afford it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Great conversation.
Doctor for everything.
Listen. And I just switched doctors because I didn't feel like she was hearing me. Just switched doctors. I was like, you ain't listening. I got to go, little mama. You're not hearing me when I say this is what's going on. So, all right. So, again, I have on my bougie shirt. I think it's Bougie Girl on Instagram. So if y'all want a bougie shirt made by a Black woman, again, these came from Sanita's Designs. She had Fancy had to help me with that. I don't know what was going on earlier. My lashes, y'all know I sell magnetic lashes, Tori Bell. My lipstick is from the Candy Lady. She's usually in the comments. So you can contact me at www.ladyceo.com. I am Lady CEO, lady.ceo on Instagram. On Clubhouse, I am Lady CEO. If you need to send me an email, it's arnya@ladyceo.com. Lady is spelled with an I. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, you can reach us at theoriesandthoughts@ladyceo.com. Fancy.
Okay, and I am Fancy Swagger on all platforms. Swagger Magazine, of course, for all magazine related stuff. You can reach me or purchase my second book. Actually, was announced today, which I'm a co-author for. I am a Black woman, and the visionary is Dr. Carolyn Stevens. So we are accepting pre-sales right now, and we're trying to get to Amazon bestselling author status. So if you all go to my link tree, the link to pre-sale is there. And again, that's the I Am a Black Woman book. But the Glambitious Guide to Self-Love, Peace, and Confidence is still available on my link tree, as well as my guide for Instagram, and that's there for free. We do have our new issue, the Favorite and Fit issue, out, and that's on the Swagger Magazine website. And then we are planning our financial panel series for March 30th, and that's going to be Her Money Matters, and that's on the Swagger website as well. So if you go between like my link tree and the Swagger site, you can find whatever you need to find for me. And I
need to get my books.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm trying to get them right now. It's only on the Kindle version, and then with the Glambitious Guide, it's a digital version as well. But hey, my link tree is there, so hit me up. I'm trying to make sure I do my part as far as selling, those for the I'm a Black Woman. But I'm also very proud. Somebody called me last Thursday and told me that she just really enjoyed my chapter in the Glambitious Guide, and she was like, she loved my transparency and my vulnerability. And I was like, okay, thank you. So yeah.
Look at my friend. That's my friend too. That's my sister too, y'all. She's an author. Okay, let's put author on the list. So I am so proud of you. Sharona said, great show. Thank you, Sharona. And that's about it, y'all. We're going to let y'all next week, where our guest will be Miss Francesca Fielder. She will be talking about being Black in the media. I think that's what it is. Something like that. I don't know.
World Press Day. Same. Well, we will be talking about media and press, yeah. And I will have my hair done, and I will not be wearing a hat like I'm disguised over here, right?
So right now, I will be interviewing Fancy next week. So y'all catch that, find out more about her And we're going to see y'all later. Thank you, Bridget. Bridget said, great show, ladies. Wonderful work as always. Thank you, honey. We're going to talk to y'all later. Bye.